Hi, how's it going? It's way too bright in this room all these windows over here are just kind of like a wall of white light, but I have the apartment to myself for the night. Ignore the background, ignore the white glaring wall. I don't have a tripod. My phone is currently in a selfie stick stuck into the couch cushions. So that's where I'm at. Basically, this is me. So, in February, we have spring reading break. And I went home for that break and I was like watching a lot of videos, and I was planning on, like, I was in the middle of the week, I was all excited, like, feeling more energized a little bit. Found out that my magnesium levels were actually really low, which was probably contributing to my fatigue and my sleep and all that jazz. So I was like feeling super positive. I was gonna come back here and like create a bunch of stuff. But then something happened that I needed to make a video about before I did a video on anything else, because it just felt wrong. So on Monday, February 26th, that was the Monday after my reading week, my grandfather passed away. It's been kind of a process, as grieving is, but trying to do it like in university. I mean, there's no easy time or situation in which to grieve somebody, but I was worried that, oh hey Peanut, you want to say hi? Peanut came to say hi. You want some pets? You want some pets? No, give me food. I already fed him. During that week, visited my grandfather a couple times because he lived across the road from my home. As is the case in a reading break, you don't do work right away, but you're still stressing about the work that you're not doing. So I kind of had allotted for like Thursday through to Monday, because I don't have classes on Mondays, to get that work done. And then Friday, it became apparent that that was not going to happen. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because it's personal. It became clear that time was very limited. So it was just a very strange atmosphere of everybody waiting just at his house. Ow! Peanut! Yeah, the mood was just, it was just a very strange atmosphere. All my family coming from various parts of the continent to see him and say goodbye, essentially. And it was just a very strange period of waiting, wanting to visit with these family members that I don't get to see very often, but not feeling like that was quite right, and like knowing we're all there because Grampie's gonna die. And then, yeah, Monday he passed away, and it was just very different than all the rest of my grandparents have also passed. But I mean, it's not something you get good at. You can't practice grieving or losing. What is your problem? I swear, it's like having a child. yeah, so it was a different experience than any of my other grandparents' deaths. And that basically, when I spoke to him for the last time, I kind of knew it was goodbye. And that's really hard. What do you say to someone that you love that you know you're probably not going to see again? But of course, I have anxiety, and so that whole weekend I was very anxious about the schoolwork that I wasn't doing. So Tuesday morning, I woke up, got all my stuff together, said goodbye to all my family, and came back to school. I got extensions for stuff that was due that week, which I still have not started. Just tried to have a normal, get back to normal when you know it's not normal and it's not going to be the same. While I'm here, it's kind of weird because, Grampie wasn't really part of my life at school, just at home. Sometimes he would give me drives to and from school in my first few years, but I have access to a vehicle now, and so I don't need anyone to come pick me up. I drive myself home. I didn't write him letters, I didn't email, I didn't call, and I went home often enough that it didn't seem like letters or anything were really necessary. Did you come to say sorry? Huh? Did you come to say, I'm sorry, Ella, for biting you? Or did you come to bite me again? Because that's not cool. Oh, it's amazing how much you can miss somebody, even when the part of your life you're living isn't somewhere they would usually be. I don't know. Losing somebody is hard, especially when you're watching the other family members grieve, especially my dad and my youngest sister and my mom, when you see people you love who are hurting, it hurts you more. So I had my week of school, then I went home for the weekend. There was a 4-H event that I had to go to, but also I wanted to visit. So I went home that weekend. My aunts and my cousin were still at my grandfather's house. They left while I was home that weekend. One of my other cousins is currently going to college, and he was living with my grandfather, and he's still living over there, and that, I think, must just be the strangest thing, to be in that house and to be alone. It's Grampie's house, but Grampie's not there anymore. Just very, very strange. But for the most part, I was okay. I had a couple good solid days of, with instances of crying and a lot of grief, but then it kind of died down. And then Monday, when I went to come back after that weekend home, I just didn't want to come back. I didn't want to have to do the work that I was behind on. I didn't want to have to leave all my family. It had been a week since he had passed. And so I did come back to school, but I had a pretty hard night. Grief isn't a linear process. Grief isn't something that you can follow step-by-step guidelines to get over it. It's something that you always are experiencing. 10 years from now, I could suddenly be sad about it, right? But also I could have a super amazing day and go out with friends and have a great time and laugh and be happy, and that's all okay. So if you're out there grieving, it's just a thing that you're going through and it's happening. Sometimes it's super intense, and sometimes it's barely noticeable. It will get better with time, but it's okay if it takes you a long time. It's okay if it doesn't take you a long time. however you go through that process of grieving someone that you've lost, it's okay. I mean, obviously there are times when people engage in harmful or like self-destructive behaviors, or become very mentally ill to do with grief, and obviously those things aren't healthy, and you should, get some sort of help or support from wherever you can find that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't have to feel guilty for being happy. You don't have to feel guilty if you go into a depressive episode. Like, just don't feel bad for whatever you're feeling, because grief is complex, it's intense, it's all convoluted and messed up and involved in all of your relationships with other people who are grieving, people who aren't, all the different interactions and memories you have with the person you've lost, the situation that you're in life. It's just not 1, 2, 3, ABC, done kind of thing. And it's all okay. Please be honest about how you're feeling. Be honest with yourself, be honest with your family, be honest with your friends, with your teachers, with your therapist, your counselor, whoever you're talking to. I'm feeling a lot better. Like, I still miss him, obviously, and probably in the next few days I'll be sad again. But right now, I'm feeling okay. It's losing someone can be closure. It can be almost a relief, a weight gone, which sounds really strange. But when there's like that cloud of when are they going to die, they're dying, they're in pain, they're struggling, how can I help? Waiting. That can wear people down more than you realize too. So he was in a lot of pain, and he was ready to go. He expressed that. And he was surrounded by people that loved him. And he knew that they loved him, and he loved all of us right back. My mom uses this kind of saying to help with grief, is that grief is the price that you pay for love. If you've never loved someone, you will never grieve someone. And so knowing that you're experiencing grief means that you opened your heart to love. And that's really important. Look at that little dork up there. You better not knock that plane off again. I swear. I was kind of worried when I was filming this that I was gonna cry. And I don't know why I was worried about that. That's a bad thing. But I think that I just kind of don't want to think about it, because then it's okay. Which isn't necessarily the best way to cope with things, but hey. Thinking about it now, it's just I do miss him and I am sad, but I know that wherever he is, he's with my grandmother, and so that's kind of all I need to know. Plan right now is finish up this video, edit it, make sure this little shit doesn't destroy the apartment while his mom is away. I love him though, he's great. Anyhow, that's, I guess, more or less everything I wanted to talk about. It didn't feel right to try and make content without addressing this. And it's a really important topic that everyone goes through grief. Everyone loses somebody. And so it's important to support each other and just keep loving. So if anyone wants to share their experiences or needs to talk about anything, just leave a comment. I hope you all have as wonderful a day as possible, and if it's a slow day or a low day or a sad day, that's okay. You did a day. Life will keep going and you will be okay. And I love you. Okay? That's everything.